Pisces, I'm Leona Nicole Black, and this is your general tarot reading for November 2018. I've been on hiatus. It's nice to be back. Of course, as always, it's a general reading. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And if you would like a personal reading, you can get that from me at nicoleblack.com/services. All the details about that's in the description box, including other services of mine, webinars, or the Connect Weekly Hangout. You can find out about that all in the description box below. I would like to get straight into your reading. Really lovely energy for you. So I always choose who I'm going to do via intuition. So I've done Scorpio, Virgo, and Pisces came next. Your energy came through, and I'm really happy to see your cards. So let's just start with where you are this month, what energy you're finding yourself in, and you have the Nine of Wands card here. This is called Strength in this particular deck. What it feels like to me is that, Pisces, you've found some moment of illumination, but it's an internal illumination. It's like understanding, self-awareness. Like, you know, my particular role with you over the months has been trying to get you to grapple with yourself and your emotional maturity and taking responsibility for your actions. And this card says that you have had an epiphany, it feels like, for me, as in, like, you've been doing the work, and you've really, I've said this to you before, but you've reached this point of grasping it where I feel like it's been moving through different levels of you. So at first it was like an intellectual thing you were hearing me say or hearing other people say, and you were thinking about it, and then it became emotional, and you were kind of learning how to feel your way through your growth. And now it's in the fire energies, and you've found this place of power now. It's like you've had enough practice in your emotional maturity to actually have skilled up a bit, to actually have gained acquired the skills you need from, like, putting the work in. And now it's at this fire point, and it's really a point of containment. It's the same thing I said to Scorpio. It's really great energy, a sense of self-containment, self-possession. I feel even that for a lot of you, Pisces are the most natural empaths of the zodiac, and we all have Pisces energy somewhere in our chart. But for those of you who are like Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, like, you guys easily access, without even trying, the energy, the auric field of other people, of places, of situations. And I think this card really speaks to you having better energetic boundaries. You've really learned, particularly I feel, to pull your energy in, to live from your internal space and not so much external projection and seeking of external validation. So it's a really great energy to see you kind of wrapping up 2018 with and getting ready to burst forth into a new cycle. Now, we have the Sun card as kind of your environmental cards, what's going on in the context for you, and the Princess of Cups. I don't normally read these cards reversed, but I've been practicing reversals, just like feeling out reversals in this particular deck, because I wouldn't normally, but I'm liking it at the moment. With the Sun and the Princess of Cups, really it's saying exactly what I just said. The Princess of Cups is about the distance that you go in terms of the message of self-worth, self-love, and how you're able to communicate that externally but not verbally. It's like how you communicate that in action, how you can communicate that in decision and choice. But in reverse, it's like with the Sun card, it's like, yes, you have completed the princess level, which would be the equivalent of the page in a traditional tarot. So you've done that kind of initial groundwork that was necessary to get yourself to a good emotional standing, and there's reward for you, really. With the Sun card, it's like there's expansion now, there's growth, there's blessing, because, and in some ways, yes, it's external blessing, it's a gift from spirit, it's things that are going to become available to you, but also part of the reward is literally the paradigm shift you've created by changing yourself. And so seeing your environment start to shift and respond to your internal shift and response. But this is great energy, particularly seeing the Sun card, when I know that we are all, this 2018 has been such a heavy planetary astrological retrograde period. Like, so much has been like within deep down search. And to see the sun when we're in Scorpio season, which for me really represents, you know, getting into the hidden, the shadow, and the darkness, I just think is so positive, because it's like the illumination is about you being aware of your shadow. It doesn't mean you've mastered everything. It doesn't mean that now you're perfectly emotionally balanced, perfectly poised, you deal with all situations the best way. It's not that. But you have shone the light on yourself. It's like the word I use in the beginning of your reading. It's self-awareness. You have just stopped the naivety and the childishness that sometimes Pisces can have by just being like, oh, I don't really know, I'm really confused, I don't know myself, I don't know what I want. You stopped all of that. Okay, and I'm really happy to see that. In terms of your spiritual lessons, what's really interesting for me is that your polar opposite sign, my sign, Virgo, has come up in two ways, really. Firstly, the Virgo card here, as the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Discs, and you also get the Virgo kind of behavior mentality in the form of the Nine of Swords, cruelty here. Your spiritual lesson this month is really to look back on the journey you've gone on. It's really to now recognize your growth. Sometimes we're in the midst of putting the work in, laboring, growing, like making conscious effort to change our lives. We don't get much time to take stock, to be here and to be like, oh wow, like I did this, or I've learned this, or I have this skill. But the cards are really saying, like, take time this particular month to see your journey, to chart it, to be like, oh, I was like this, I'm now like this, I've done this experience differently. Like, see the distance that you've gone. It's really important that you, journaling will be useful for you for this. Like, really account for the process that you've gone through, because you also want to concretize and make those lessons like really firmly validated in your personal life, why the choices that you've made have been in your highest good. And really a part of the process, it's been a painful process, is your growth and your development, and a part of that has been the discipline of self-correction. And really, the card, the Nine of Swords here, is saying don't overcorrect now by being unnecessarily harsh with yourself and judgmental towards yourself, and like almost taskmaster now about your emotional maturity. It's saying don't overdo it. There was a time when you needed the scalpel, the doctor's scalpel, to cut a wound, to cut and clear, but you've gone through quite a significant emotional healing, and an auric field healing, an energy field healing, and the scalpel is not required anymore. You need a different tool to maintain your health and your well-being. Like, we don't shower with knives, do you know what I mean? Like, so now you are a water sign, you want to return to that watery energy, and to don't be ambitiously harsh with yourself in terms of like where you want to see yourself grow and mature to. So I just have some final advice cards for you, really. Your reading's super simple. It's really just an encouragement to you, and well done from Spirit. And your advice cards are the Six of Wands to begin with, victory. This is a Leo card here. This is actually Jupiter in Leo. And the message here is that you can now, because you've earned it, you've worked for it, you can now start to focus on your creative dreams and your visions and start putting effort there again, and start seeing this stuff come through for you. Like, I feel such a positive energy from this reading, and I just feel like there's so much love. I feel almost like the concept of like an angelic kind of row just like clapping for you. That's how it feels. Like, they're super proud of you, Pisces, and it's just time now for you to take the momentum that you have and really start to see things come into fruition for you. Start to really, the card victory is right, start to be victorious, but it's Leo energy, so victorious about the things that really set your heart on fire. Do you know what I mean? The things that you're passionate about, the things you care about, the things that you want to see happen in the world, the things you want to change in the world, the way you want to imprint yourself, your concept of the world, anything you want to put out there. It's like, yes, now's the time. You have cultivated internally this space to hold it. You've also got the Four of Pentacles, the Power card here in reverse. Really, this to me says that you've set a foundation. The foundation is strongly there and that work is done. Like, you have, over the past year, taken like a hammer and a nail, and you've gone to work on yourself. And now that foundation is laid clean, it's a great foundation for you to now build on. And you've got the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and I feel like this is a change card, but I feel like the changes are not that anything stops changing. Life is always in flux, but I feel like the instability is over for you, because a lot of the instability that was happening in your life, the changes, the topsy-turviness, was really a reflection of your own emotional instability, your lack of possession internally. And as you've worked on that, things are leveling out externally. So your foundation is great, really. Now, the last two cards for you advice-wise, you've got the Futility card in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse. You have dreams now, and really it's an incubation stage for some of you. These are like, sometimes for some of you it's going to be like a project that's going to take some time. Some of you it's literal pregnancy, but it's something that you want to do, something you're thinking about, that is not going to be an overnight thing, but you want to do it, and you should. Is a green light for it, but it's going to take time. And you've got the Futility card here, really, because it's asking you also to do this in secret. I guess privacy is important. I want you to think about whatever it is that you want to do as like literally growing a baby. And there will be a time where you'll be showing and people will see, oh, you've been working on this thing. Like, I can, oh, you know, this is what's been happening in your personal life or whatever. People will see it. But right now, it's not the time to show it. And the reason is because it's like what I said about not showering with knives. All these knives here, for whatever reason, the vision that you have is not a vision that many people can catch right now. Whatever idea you have, whatever it is, it's at such a state that if you were to share it right now, all you would get is negative feedback, criticism, doubt, and just a lot of like oppositional energy, and you don't need it, you know. So it's like, right now, nurture, incubate that dream, work on it on your own is the message. The time will come when it's time to share, but it's not right now. The other thing about this is that people have been used to seeing you a bit on the down and out, and it's not that you've been like completely, you know, a mess. You haven't been, but people have seen you struggle. The thing about you, Pisces, you're actually quite transparent. As much as you're very intuitive, for anyone who has any sense of emotional intelligence, they can read you well. And so because of that, people are used to seeing your shortcomings, or used to seeing you as seeing your problems easily. And as you're moving out of being the problem child, so to speak, or moving out of being the one with the issues and the struggle and the unbalanced emotions, it will change the dynamics of things, and people might get a bit uncomfortable with your success. Now, some of these people are legit haters, to be honest, and that's just the nature of life. You don't need to concern yourself with that. You just need to not sow your seeds in the midst of them, as in not share with them your most private, intricate hopes, dreams, and wishes. For other people, it's not even that they're haters, it's just that your success is going to shine a light on them. The Sun card, that's going to reveal their personal shadow, their fears, their insecurities, the things that they desire, the things that they haven't worked on. And likewise, you may be on the receiving end of some criticism from them, which isn't, because it's not really a reflection of them not loving you. It's about them. It's just about what's going to come up in them. And ultimately, either way, both of those situations have nothing to do with you. And so the best thing for you to do is mind your personal business and allow people to make their necessary adjustments, whether that's going to be to cycle out of your life because they will never really have pure intentions towards you, or it's people that need to grapple with their personal stuff and then come back to you in a way that's more able to celebrate and rejoice over what's going on for you. But right now, it's like, keep a quiet pregnancy. literally, if you were pregnant, that's for you. And if you is a creative, metaphorical baby, something you're working on, something that means something to you, keep it to yourself right now. That's the message, okay? So I will see you next month with an update. I love you much, Pisces. Mwah, mwah, mwah.